welcome to episode 10 of Beta Academy's Pandemic Podcast. I'm your host, Nakapan, and our co-host, of course, Luis Candelas, broadcasting not from the school, but from his house. And also our special guest today, my cousin and resident DJ. Also, his name is Artit Sibunung, but we know him in the academy as DJ Open Mat. But really, he is DJ as one. DJ as one, man. Take it away, dude.
Open Mat here for duty. What's up, guys?
DJ as one. Now let's get it all in perspective. Now let's get it all in perspective. Let the music diffuse all the tension. Let the music diffuse all the tension. Like we bringing 88 back. Like we bringing 88 back. Y'all appointed me to bring. Y'all appointed me to bring. Y'all appointed me to bring rap justice. King of the town. Yeah, I've been there. King of the town. Yeah, I've been there. You know I click clack. Where you and your men's at? You ain't even in me class up.
A little bit messing around for you guys.
Hey, that's a good way to start off our show, man. Welcome.
Classes in session, guys.
Dude, that needs to be like our beta podcast intro song. You know how like every show has an intro song?
Yeah.
That should
I could work on one for you guys. I just send it to you guys.
That'll be great, man. That'll be
That would
great.
be amazing.
Yeah, you can charge up our shows. This is we've right now, of course, I'll start with. I will get into all of the updates with the school later on, but right now we're really excited to have my cousin over here, DJ as one.
What's up, guys?
He's wearing the actual combat athlete shirt. I try to give him all the different shirts at the school. That's an old shirt that we used to have, but he's sporting it now. It is a classic, a vintage shirt. I don't think you can find those anymore.
It fits me, man. It was a smaller one. I was like, oh, it's gonna go fit me? And I was like, oh yeah, okay. It fits.
I order all the shirts extra medium because this is how they fit on everybody. So.
Every shirt's fitting me. Yeah, everyththing's fitting me super like a medium now. I told you, man. It's like I'm walking around with a fat suit on. It's terrible.
Well, for me, it was about just if I could feel slim enough to fit in it. But yeah.
Art is we go way back. Obviously, we're family. We grew up like brothers. Really, we live with each other for a long time here and there, different times. And we actually started Kung Fu together. We'll get into that in a second, but if you guys have been by the school, mostly in the grapple-thons and the different events that we have, like the Muay Thai smokers and a lot of different open mat days, Art comes in, he spins, and it creates an awesome vibe. I could tell you that every time we're training on the mat, like he really sets the vibe for the training, and we really do appreciate him. And also, he introduced us to Bo, right? What's Bo's DJ name?
Bo knows best.
Bo knows best, eh? Bo knows best.
But that's Alicia's Instagram. So
okay, he's been coming in and doing some of the grapple-thons as well.
Dope. That's dope.
Yeah, dude. You put us in touch with him. He's been training for the last like almost 2 or 3 years now, right?
Yeah,
well, he's been training with you guys. So you guys are actually you and Bo have become brothers in a sense.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just through you. I remember that day because the grapple-thon, which now, of course, Lori's brainchild, but now Lewis has been the one taking over the events and handling everything.
Just Lori.
It is a 12-hour rolling grappling marathon, and at the same time, it's also a DJ marathon because we brought you in to handle all the entertainment. Yeah,
and then I remember that one day I just I don't know. I think it was a super busy weekend. I had some other stuff going on, but that was part of it. And then it just made sense. Like I knew a lot of, I have friends in the city who are also DJs. And it just so happened that I think I hit up Bo because I thought he would be cool on the music side of it. And then I think naturally it turned into something else once he got there, and he kind of saw what was going on and was like, wow, he probably thought this is something I need to give a shot.
I thought it was great because it was like Anchorman when you were like you assembled your news team. You're like news team assemble, and then they had like 2 or 3 different DJs show up, and they were like, yeah, we're about it. And so that was a good time, man. And then ever since then, you know, Bo's been training with us at the school. He
cool, man.
That's awesome. Pretty often. He's pretty good now. You know, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Okay, I'll be the judge of that. It's like I don't know. He'd probably whoop me, bro.
But you and I, we started training. You have martial arts training as well. We started training kung fu back in the day, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, here's a question. Do you remember? I know how old we are in relation to each other, but do you remember around what time you took the first class? We took the first class. I remember. I always followed him. You know, if he did it, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
1992, I believe we first started.
Holy crap! So I was like 10, 11. Yeah.
I'm looking for some pics right now to see if I can, you know, place you at that time. But yeah, we started training. Of course, our grandfather was really instrumental in that, and he felt that we needed to learn at least something how to defend ourselves because we're like really tiny, ethnic-looking people. We got picked on a lot. I mean, growing up, I think I can remember every single year we had a bully.
Yeah.
Every single year.
I remember bullies followed us even when we would be out of town. I don't know if you remember the Atlantic City boardwalk incident.
Yes.
Honestly, I remember that moment, man. And
you had a bully follow you on vacation.
If I didn't look up to you before then, bro, just know like that day changed like the whole like way I viewed it. You and/or being able to just, I guess, show confidence and realize how confidence alone can deter, you know, a threat.
Yeah, we were walking in New Jersey, and I think there were 3 of us: you, me, and JJ, who are Art's stepbrother.
Stepbrother, yeah. And
we were at that time. I mean, that's like a vacation that our parents always take is go to the casino. So
any city.
yeah. And back then, now there's casinos everywhere. You could drive. 30 minutes and you could be at like 3 different ones. But back then you had to kind of make it a weekend deal to drive all the way up in 3.5 hours. And so our parents used to go to like Taj Mahal. I don't think it's there anymore. They're like tearing it down.
It's like Rock and Roll Hotel now or something. Or physically it's still there, but it's not called that anymore.
Yeah. And we were walking on the boardwalk, right? And it was raining.
Probably going to the arcade. That's all we really wanted to do.
Yeah, we were going to the arcade. Look, I got a picture of us. This is actually of me. See, oftentimes, I can't really see it. I'm going to try to take off the background.
If you take off the background, you can see it.
I'm standing next to a Street Fighter 2 machine.
Of course you are.
Oh, yeah. Coin op.
I think that's what that is.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that Caillou in years.
That's
you
right.
actually look like you're coming back full circle to that.
Let me see that again.
Man.
Wait, you got to show that again. Can you show it again? Wait, you got to
show it again. I think that's Street Fighter 2 machine. No, maybe not. Look at that.
Ah, dude.
This is where we spend most of our time.
I don't know what you guys know, and you know, you see this guy Nakapan. He can do a lot, man. Just know that one of those things that he can do is fight video games really well. He's really good at video games.
We spent a lot of time growing up. We spent a lot of time growing up playing video games.
We did, man. You had the Nintendo. We had the Sega Genesis. We had pretty much everything. Not that to say we were like spoiled, but you know we were not hurting for gaming machines. Yeah.
So, in Atlantic City, we were walking up the boardwalk, and I think we were being approached by like six kids.
Man, something like that. It felt like more, if that.
And they were
probably 6 of them or something.
They were walking up to us and telling us basically to empty our pockets. Like they were coming behind us. And how do you remember it?
Knuckleheads, basically. They could tell we were not from there.
Yeah, we did not look very intimidating. So to say the least. But you can tell the story. How do you remember that story?
Okay, I remember it was raining. It was really windy, raining, and we had, I think there was like one umbrella between all of us. I think even at one point I remember the umbrella just being like it kind of blew the other way and just kind of broke. And we're just walking. I remember, I think we walked. If you know anything about the boardwalk, every few blocks there's like a little alley, like Ocean City to get to the street. I think I remember just walking, and then behind one of the alleys, the guys came, and they just started following us, and it was really slow. They were kind of doing like this slow creep, but it was obvious because like there was no one on the boardwalk except for us, and then them behind us. And then I remember it was kind of like them circling us, and it was kind of a like he said, a come out your pockets type of deal. I remember I probably didn't say anything. I was pretty scared.
You said you were like 10 years old, Art?
Yeah. This time I'm not quite sure what this had to be. This was like post martial arts classes, so I must have been 12, 13 maybe.
Okay.
All I really know and remember is that basically the leader, the head of this group or whatever, the tall kid, he was facing Caillou, and then Caillou literally was like pushing, like holding him, like to say like, yo, don't get close to me. Don't like
just so it's clear too.
keep your distance.
I think that's good. My family knows me as Caillou, which basically means like.
Oh, sorry, did I say that?
No, I think that's good. Please, you calling me Nakapan is weird because all my family members call me Caillou.
Yeah,
So.
and I had to catch myself trying to call you Naka. It's weird. I have to call you.
I prefer
depends on who I'm
Caillou.
talking to.
I prefer Caillou with family members.
Okay, yeah. So and I remember Caillou basically is like, keep your distance, kind of with his hand thing. And before anything got physical, it actually never got physical. I promise you this. I swear, it was so crazy. This dude, let's see where I'm at here. All right, so the dude's standing there, and he basically just kind of does this weird. I remember it like one of those weird movie Bruce Lee moments where he's just like, yo, and the guy's like looking at him. Can I curse here? He's like, what the hell is this kid doing? And then he takes his like leg and throws this side kick, like, and then like knife edge of the foot right to the dude's like nose, like really slow, like, and the guy just, they literally, like the movies, they look at each other and they're like, yo, hell no, we don't want none of this shit right here. And they literally just ran off. It was something like that.
So
right?
what? Hold on.
Yeah.
So how old are you, Nak?
I think I was like 13 or 14, which
So
made
this
me
is-
like 11.
So this is before the Thailand trip?
Before Thailand, before
So
Thailand.
this is all Kung Fu.
all Kung Fu.
Dude.
All Kung Fu,
that's
man.
it.
Yeah, this is all Kung Fu. And literally just with that, like he literally threw a side kick at this dude's face and just stopped at his nose. And the dude was just like, oh. And these are also kids, though. Like I look back and I'm like,
we're all kids.
These were also kids. We were kids. They were kids. We were just in their territory. But then I think that show confidence of like, yo, like I could literally kick you in the face right now and break your nose. Like those dudes were like, nah, we don't want none of that. And I remember, they headed out, and I don't think we even told the parents, did we?
No, we didn't tell the
I
parents.
think we kept it to ourselves.
But we talked to each other like, yo, we almost got messed up there for real though.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna get messed up, bro. I thought something bad was gonna happen, man. So if I never thanked you officially for saving us that day, thank you, bro.
No problem.
That's why I'm still here today. It could have been a different story.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I wanna make something clear. So you said your family calls you Caillou?
Yeah, Caillou.
I'm
Caillou.
just saying. There's a cartoon. I'm
Caillou.
just saying. That, I'm assuming this is not what we're talking about, right? It's a little different, but just saying.
It's almost pronounced the same, but it's spelled totally different.
Okay.
I think the Caillou in America, the sitcom or the TV show is spelled with a C,
Mhm.
A-I, something like that. His is spelled K-A-I-U. Oh, sorry, K-A-I-U. Yeah.
So,
I mean, and it's a nickname. It's a Thai nickname. So if you're Thai, you know that if you know anybody that's Thai, most you should know that Thai people don't really have middle names, like official middle names.
yeah, and so Art's Thai name, Atit, it means the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Means the sun. But it's nice because his family thought of him ahead of time and was like, people can just call him Art. and he doesn't need to get picked on as much. or one less reason for you to get picked on, because we got picked on a lot, man.
Yeah.
Coming up, and I think that's what kind of led us into martial arts. At least that's what led me into martial arts in the beginning, and try to bring as many people into it as I could. Being first generation born here from immigrant family, your families don't really have a whole lot of disposable income, so you kind of look funny, you dress funny. At least they cut our hair, so we didn't have weird haircuts.
Yeah, they didn't do any bowl cuts either, so we were
all right. We were all right in that department. All of our family members are cosmetologists, or hair cutting people, so we're okay with that.
In the beauty world.
Unfortunately, the same people have buzzed me, so I'm very, very short this time, and you don't even need hair. So,
Fun fact, I'm 30. I don't know how old I look, but I'm about to be 38, right? But I've only paid for 2 haircuts in my life, all by choice too. All by choice.
Now, do you cut your own hair, or did your mom cut your hair?
I cut my own hair, man. Yeah, I've been doing my own since, like, I don't know, 10 years now. I just kind of I shave it. I could do it with a mirror. I usually like a mirror, but I could do it without a mirror if needed.
Last week was the first time Tina cut my hair, and then that's why I kept the gnarly stash. I'm a little disappointed. Oh, Art, you got one too. Hey, Nak, what's up, bro?
Man, I don't want to do that though.
Come on. Me, I got it. Danimo did it. Furaha did it, and now it's Mr. Dan. It's not Danimo anymore with the mustache. It's Mr. Dan.
You need that to get a
to get a Mr. title. Yeah.
All right. I'll think about it. So Art started training kung fu probably shortly after I did, and our grandfather would always take us to class. I mean, then he was retired, so we go to class like 3 or 4 days a week, and then he'd sit there with a book and wait for us to finish, and then take us home. And then we had we had a dojo at his house that we could train in. So we were doing a lot of that. And I remember when Art got in, but we all took the same class together. It was like a weird teens class. And Art, you're like the smallest one there, but
always
he trained hard. He was consistent. I think his kick, man, he had the round kick and the side kick. Like, he was good at those kicks that he developed in training. And we shortly thereafter, we started going to a bunch of tournaments. I always talk about this because those are a lot of the fun days where we had a van, and my grandfather would take us and the neighborhood kids, whoever were training kung fu with us. We try to get everybody into the kung fu van.
Caravan, the wood panel caravan.
Travel around the country and go to tournaments. Sometimes like two in one weekend, like a Saturday and a Sunday tournament. We compete in
like little tours almost.
Yeah, and we compete in all these local tournaments. Again, we were training kung fu, so as I said in previous podcasts, like back then you were kind of like the almost like the outsiders, because you were in taekwondo tournaments, karate tournaments, and you had like tang sudo people. So we were kind of the people that were on the outskirts of things. And
so that's what that feeling was.
Yeah,
we were on the I guess we were on the outskirts of it, because a lot of these tournaments were even mentioned or promoted as quote unquote karate tournaments.
Well, we looked different too, because our uniforms were different. Like,
oh yeah,
let me see if I can find a picture of. So like here's a picture. I got to take this off.
You got to take off your background again.
I got to take off the background. It's okay. I'm in a bedroom. It's fine. If you look here, see like these pants that we were wearing, these like MC Hammer pants.
Oh my God, I remember those.
These are like, you look really good. We had a t-shirt and MC Hammer pants.
Oh my God.
So
they were the coolest pants, actually.
They were the coolest pants though, because it was the sound. When you kicked, they were like rip through the air.
Yeah. Yeah, they had this thing about them. I don't know. It wasn't even a MC Hammer type of deal. I think it was just, I associate it with Kung Fu, that type of pant.
They were there. Once you got a blue belt, you could.
That's what it was.
You could wear these pants, so you're like, yeah, I've gotten there. And Art, we used to take Art to tournaments. He came a little later in the tournament circuit because we'd already had some experience. So I always saw Art as, he was trying, but for a while, like, he wasn't getting the results that he was looking for. But he kept competing, and after a while, I think it was like after your 5th or 6th tournament, you started getting you're finding your stride, and then you started winning,
Wow,
And
I don't even remember it like that.
that's how I remembered you.
That's
Because
cool though. No, that's great to hear.
felt, you were having a really difficult time in the forums because sometimes you wouldn't remember them, and then
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
the sparring wasn't going your way. But then like after a couple of times, like you started to really get your ground. I have a couple pictures of us, you know.
Hey, look, trophy's taller than me, man.
That's what my grandfather was always like. Hey, we want to go to the place with the tallest trophies. You know, so these is
Wow. Damn, dude.
right.
That's
You,
crazy, bro.
there's me,
Look
and
at us.
we are.
90s, man.
Yeah, 6-foot trophies. That's what we were looking. That's what we were out to get. 6-foot trophies.
I remember that was the goal. It was like we were out to literally like steal all the trophies from these guys.
Let's see. Here's another picture.
Oh, wow.
This is you, right?
I almost felt like we were Cobra Kai to some people.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. We were that different. We weren't bad like guys. We weren't like the bad guys, but like we were so different. And you know, I don't know. It was like when we walked in, people were like, "Those guys." You know, at one point maybe, but maybe not.
After a while, like this was the
Wow.
house.
Yeah.
Dude.
Some of you guys might be looking at that like that's crazy, and I am
That's
looking at that like
so
that's crazy too. But that was our reality. Like that's what we did. There was a string of years that was the focus. The focus was tournaments and training in between.
Dude, can you put that picture up again? That was crazy.
I don't think that's all of them even, but there's a lot.
Dude.
Yeah, and those were all of Gayu's trophies. Even like that dude was on a mission.
It's just full of.
I don't know if you were on a mission or if Grandpa was on a mission.
Grandpa was on a mission. He was going to make me do it.
You said the word he was retired, and I didn't even I didn't think of it that way either. I was just a kid with a grandfather, but then I realized, oh, this is a retired guy. Who's got a lot of energy, and he's like, I'm gonna take these kids and I'm gonna
make something. Yeah,
make something.
We were very lucky, like
very lucky.
Traveling around, I was when I won 3 different ones. I just
wait
again. Yeah, blue belt. Is that a blue belt time? Yep.
Blue belt. Yeah.
So wait, was this kickboxing or?
This is like point sparring, like forms. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to picture Danny Rizzo.
Hey man,
miss
you, Rizzo.
Yeah, love you, Rizzo. We started.
Peace,
Can I see that one again?
He's a good friend of mine in high school. He's no longer with us. So we used to go to a lot of tournaments together too. Yeah. And then he was the one who actually got me into jiu-jitsu because he found the jiu-jitsu. Look at our equipment on the bottom there.
Was he? He got you into jiu-jitsu?
We used to watch UFC together, and then he found a flyer in high school. Just like I don't know where he found it. I always. In my way I tell the story was like it was just floating around the street and he just grabbed it. He was like, "We're going to jiu-jitsu," and he showed it to me. I was like, "Holy crap, dude! You found it!" Because
out of nowhere it came to you.
Back then, you didn't know where to find it. You didn't know
what was the flyer, like a class to take.
It just said the name of a school and where it was. So we went there, and then the rest was history, and we were just training. So
you trained with were you able to train jiu-jitsu with Rizzo for a bit?
Yeah, we did jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai together for probably a few years.
That's right. And I honestly look back now, and I remember there was and like this is maybe to skip kind of pass through a lot of that time. I remember a moment where I was faced with a decision, and this is I think I hate to use the word the downfall of my career or what's it called in martial arts, but I think I was like 16 at the time, and there was an option. My grandfather was like, "All right, this summer, you have the option to come to Thailand."
Oh yeah,
and to learn Muay Thai. And Gayu's going. You and Gayu gonna go. And I remember at this point point for whatever happened, it was like I was 16. I was always a band geek, so there was always that going on. But then I got into skateboarding and all this other stuff, and I remember not wanting to do that summer. I don't know, like I can't really think of it that hard. I was like, I just didn't. I passed up the opportunity to go to Thailand to learn Muay Thai, and I wish, knowing what I do now, knowing that that summer could have just been replaced with the next summer or the next summer, I would have went for sure. But yeah, that was a decision that I had to. I don't know if you realize this. I realized that later. I was like, damn, man, I can't believe I turned down a free trip to Thailand to go learn Muay Thai.
Yeah, but you were always into music. That was your thing. And
True.
I think that like you at that point you found your own path, and I think that also is part of martial art. Everybody walks their own path. Here, I found another picture of you.
Sure. Wow. Wow. I mean, look at that hair, guys. By the way, I choose to be bald. I have hair. I pretty much have full head of hair. I just
Those are all the good
I
times.
can't grow it back to that point, man. Wow.
But that's another thing he would do is that grandfather would take all these pictures all the time. He had so many scrapbooks. He shot all of our movies. He filmed everything that we did and
Wow.
then edited out and got it. I think you still have some of those VHS tapes that he made.
Yeah, they got to be some. Do you have them or do I have them?
I have some. I think
You got to have some.
have
Yeah,
to-
I mean, you guys got to realize my grandfather, he basically would, like he said, he would edit. He was the filmer. He was literally he was the filmer, producer, director. He was key grip. He was transportation. He was grandfather. He was parent. He kind of played every single hat. He was the one. He started throwing more hats on his head, as far as I'm concerned. He could have just taken us, and that was it. But he really dove deep into our life.
You can see also. I just found a couple extra
Doing
pictures.
martial arts.
You're saying when Rizzo and I were training, this is our Muay Thai team. Our first Muay Thai smoke that we ever did. I'm a green belt in there, I think.
Wow.
Belt, yeah.
Hey, Art, it's not too late, bro. You can still train some Muay Thai, dog.
Does.
True.
Bo be training.
You know what? And there's that. So before the pandemic, there is that. I tell you what, and if anybody that knows Gayu Nakapan, you'll probably agree with me here. Especially as family, whenever I would cross paths, he would be like, "Hey, man, why'd you come out of school? Get some training and get your ass kicked." And he wouldn't say it like that, but in my mind, I'm like, get my ass kicked. Like, yeah, right. But no, man, he's always pushing, and that's the one thing that I think me and him kind of picked up earlier, not earlier on, but maybe later on. Like, I think anybody that knows, especially you guys that are watching this, I'm sure you guys are here. You guys are lifestylers. That's the word I'm going to use. Like, this is a lifestyle to you. And that's it was my lifestyle as a kid for sure, and then it became music again. But if you want to get good at anything, or just you want to be about something, like make it a lifestyle. And when I say make it a lifestyle, it's literally like when like this is part of your day, like rolling or doing whatever you guys are set out to do that day to train or whatever. Like that's like a no-brainer. If you don't, it's like brushing your teeth. If you don't do it, you feel weird.
Yeah.
Even if it's for like, as we get older, we have less and less time, but like we have to, we force it into our day.
And that's what I want to get to. I want to get into more about your lifestyle now. So because you've always been an inspiration to me, man, with you kind of found this path, you made your passion, your career, things have obviously changed for both of us at this point, but there was a time where we had to figure out, like, throwing away the comforts of certain, throwing away the comforts that we had to kind of pursue something that we really felt strongly about. That's something that some people may not know about us too. We used to be in a business together. We used to have this business called Driven Dynamics.
Yes, tight tint.
Yeah, that's our term. We say tight tint. That's tight tint. Yeah, so tight tint, So in 2000, maybe 4, I want to say, we decided, Art, myself, and 2 of our friends, Colin and Kieran Sebadan, decided to open a car computing company. And we named it Driven Dynamics. We were like, oh, this is a badass name. And these 2 guys that we worked with developed a car computer, which is basically like standard in all cars right now. like to this day and age, you get in a car, you plug in your iPhone, like you get GPS on it. Back then you listen to MP3s, you could watch DVDs, you could do all these things. These guys developed the software, which we called Shotgun, which we copyrighted it, and Shotgun, dude. And then he had an Acura TL. Colin had an Acura TL. He took out whatever the middle console was and put this computer touch screen in, and it fabricated the plastic to make it look like it was right from the factory. And back in early 2000, nothing like this was ever out yet. And so I looked at this thing, and back then I'm always trying to like figure out new ways to make $1 million. So this thing right here is the future. I mean, we gotta do this thing.
I felt the same thing, man.
Right? We show, because
yeah.
Introduce you to them, and I was like, look at this thing, man. This thing is tight. It's tight tint. So what are we gonna do? But if we opened a window tint, if we opened a car computing company back then, like no one knew what it was. How are we gonna get customers? It didn't really make any sense. So I found my cousin, who at that time was working as a window tinter. He's got the perfect
down
staff.
The street.
Yeah, you're actually down the street from where we were looking at, and so we kind of set up a series of meetings. And I said, "Hey guys, I want you to meet my cousin, and I think this is a way that we can begin to get the car enthusiasts introduced to our product, and at least have a viable business." So we opened a window tint clear shielding business in with North Stone Street, right? I think it's North Stone Street.
Yep.
Oh, whose phone is like, damn,
Sorry.
that was serious, dog. My eardrum just exploded on that.
Oh wow. What's all happening? Let me shut this down here. My messages, man, messages.
I just messed you up, sorry.
No worries. So when we opened the shop, we probably were there for a couple years, and then we didn't talk for a couple years because business kind of went sour, and no one lost any money. We were just in this thing, 4 partners. We all had different ideas of how it needed to be run.
Yeah.
But it was a great learning experience, for me, especially to like run different businesses and to work with people, work with friends. Would I do it again? Probably not. Do something like that. But we also built the shop ourselves. One of our partners, his father's a contractor, so he had this vision for how we were going to build out the shop. He came in, he got all the drywall, got the we were up on scaffolding, like mudding the walls up, painting it.
I learned how to put up drywall.
Yeah.
I learned how to put together a scaffold.
Yeah. So we were in there we put a spiral staircase in. We ended up building like a tax office on top of the shop because we expanded our services to be financial services to the community. We were trying to do everything in the shop, and after a while, it just became. I think it became more of like a drudgery for all of us to show up at work, and so we kind of went our separate ways. But that was, I think, the springboard for Art to begin doing what he loved to do, which was be in music and DJing. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey through that, and how that kind of evolved for you?
Absolutely, man. So like you said, we were in business, and I was already in the automotive industry for about 8 years prior to that. Or maybe 8 years prior to that, working for other folks. I had learned this one skill that apparently I was pretty good at. I mean, like, when I say pretty good at, I mean apparently people would drive from as far as like Virginia, Pennsylvania, just to come get their windows tinted by me. And I mean like on very specific cars, because if any of you car guys out there, if anybody knows any car people, they're very particular about their vehicles and what goes on and who puts their hands and who works on them. But I was just good with my hands, and we started the business. Like you said, everything we kind of had a falling out. Everybody kind of started falling out, man. And like I said, even though at that time it was like really bad, I remember just being like, man, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose that, but I have to do this. And it was just it was a great learning experience, though.
Is it one of those things where you guys like burnt out? You know how people always say burnt out?
No, I don't know if it was like a burnt. There was like four of us, so it's hard to just speak for everybody,
Yeah.
And then unless you were there, like you have to really know the
Listen,
relationship.
one guy wasn't. He was the guy who made the software, and he wasn't doing anything. So I mean, look, so he was like, "I'm not doing anything," and we were like, "Yo, why aren't you doing anything?" And we felt like everybody else was kind of, carrying the weight.
Carrying the weight.
But then like they kind of saw it as more of like a hobby. It was like, this is our shop. Like we ride bikes here, we fix stuff here, we do these things, and this is Art's livelihood. And
Right. So yeah, and then so my shop, all of a sudden, the shop that I have to open up, answer the phones, clean the toilets at the end of the day, everything in between, was this hangout spot for local dudes like with their motorcycles and Colin's friends and stuff, and it was cool. But then and it's, like I said, it started turning into other stuff. Like I remember Fong even would come and he would work on cars there, and me, I'm cool. Like I'm not the guy to be like, no, like if we can be productive in their space, let's do it. Long story short, what had happened was once we had gotten out of it, I think I remember it was like around October or something like that of like 2008 or 9 or something. And long story,
happening at the same time.
yeah, I basically made a decision to leave the business. So long story short, these guys were able to give me a contract literally just to sign my name out of the business. I wouldn't owe anything. I didn't, there was no legal nothing. It was just like, get out of here. If you want to go, and I was like, all right, I did it. And it was a really scary time for me, to be honest with you, because at that point, there's 3 months that went by where I was not working. Go from working every day, sometimes Monday through Sunday. Like we had our own garage, so this was like almost like second home. We would just come in to come in, and we would pile up work to be like, all right, well, we got all these cars in here now. We need to get them done by Monday. So, I would come in and just do the work as needed. Long story short, I always say that get out of it. And 3 months go by. I'm not working. I'm kind of hurting, to be honest with you. Luckily, my ex at the time, she was able to carry me over. I'm grateful for that. But I remember getting a phone call from one of my old battle buddies. Okay, so in 2002, the first DJ battle I ever did was at Guitar Center. If you guys know about Guitar Center, they have these things called Guitar Center Spinoff, and they're local battles that anybody can do. So I did that, and long story short, it was like an extension of competing, because I had already been competing before martial arts. I don't even know if you knew this guy. I was in jazz band in like middle school and stuff, and when you're in jazz band at that level, to make jazz band apparently is like a thing. The schools, like our school, would also travel to do competitions with other jazz bands, and we'd jazz band it out. So I'd been competing like my whole life without even realizing it, at the jazz band and then martial arts, as Caillou stated. And then I got into DJ battling 2002. Long story short, one of the guys that I met on my trip to Atlanta, he was named Geometrics. He's my boss right now. He's the director of the program I work for. He called me and said, "Hey, you live in Rockville, right?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, me and my boy Chris are opening up a DJ school in Bethesda. We need quality instructors. We kind of can't take no for an answer." You're like right there. You're the guy, And I remember just kind of not jumping to it and be like, "Yeah, I think I'll get back to you." Blah blah blah. But immediately, in my mind, I was like, "Hell yeah, I need a job." So I think the Beat Refinery is kind of where things started changing for me. I got a job basically teaching DJing. I got a job as a music instructor. For me, it was a little weird because I thought to myself, I went to the website and I saw these people with these awesome credentials, like, Juilliard and all these like amazing schools, that teach music, that give official, like, college level stuff, and I was like, man, are you sure you want me to work here? Like, I don't have any of these credit. I don't have these credentials. Like, I don't know what the hell you want me to do here. And I remember Chris, especially Chris, shouts to Chris, stylist Chris, my boss at the Beat Refinery. He's also the the DJ for the Washington Nationals. He also was able to play during the world champion for them too. So, so I stoked for him. He basically told me, he was like, wait, where was I?
you got an opportunity even though you didn't have experience.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Chris basically, they basically brought me on, and I started teaching. And Chris was like, "Dude, you have street cred. You have." So by this time, it had been maybe 8 years, or like 2002 to 2000, just under 2010, right around that time frame. I'd been competing in DJ battles steadily, and that was my hobby. It was like the one thing that I did just to keep sane. It was, like I would go to work, have the girlfriend, have the friend life, but then after like 9, 10 o'clock, I would shut the whole world off, and I would go in my studio, and I would just in terms to try to win DJ battles later on. So he basically was like, "Dude, you have so much street cred, it's not even funny. Like you have street cred. That's all you need." I'm like, I don't know what that means, but sure. So I started working there, and once I started teaching people, everything grew for me. I started meeting a lot of people, through just being an instructor, as you guys probably know. Like every week, it was before pandemic. Like you're meeting new people coming in, trying to or wanting to give their shot or their go at this, martial arts or DJing. But with that, the people that I had surrounded around me, so guys like Chris and Gio, DJ Inferno, they basically were telling me things like, "Hey, man, if you want to go full time in this music industry business, especially as a DJ," they basically asked me, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 27." All these guys had a different path, and they kind of went about it more precise. Like, they had like backup plans and bank accounts to support these fallout plans if DJing didn't work. I didn't. I kind of just had the one way, and they're like, "Dude, you need to try it now before you regret it. If you don't try to do if you don't get into it now, you might regret it." Without saying much, and I realize now it could have been a multiple things that could have caught me up without getting serious about it. So, around 27, 28, I took the dive to become a full-time DJ. So not only was I teaching, I basically am teaching part-time, like 2-3 days a week. And then what the hell else am I going to do with my time? So all of a sudden I had all this free time, and I basically started focusing on getting gigs in the city, DJing. But then my attitude was, especially just for someone who needed to make a living off of an honest living off of music, saying no to anything was hard. So when I say anything, what I mean, most people, when you guys think of DJing, you might think, oh yeah, you might see me in the nightclub, you might see me on the videos doing the scratching thing, but in reality, there's so many opportunities here to make money. I started saying yes to weddings. I found myself on cruise ships DJing. I found myself DJing for corporate companies, opening up Forever 21 in Baltimore, things like that. Pretty much like all these crazy corporate companies that I never thought I'd be working for. Like I've done stuff like just before the pandemic, one of the last things I did was at Pentagon City. I was at it just opened up. G-Star Raw just opened up, and I did their opening at Pentagon before all this happened.
I think that's also part of I was, as an observer, the secret of your success is that you are also very versatile as a person in music and in DJ, in that, like, some people, maybe when you think of a DJ, maybe that's all they're doing. They're like, okay, you're going to go to the nightclub and then you're just going to spin for a couple hours and then go home. But, Art, I've seen him at the nightclub is a very small portion, I think, of his portfolio, in that he's also going to these DJ battles. I went out and it was like a contest out in Colorado that we went out to, and these battles are basically like they're putting together sets and they're like trying to like disrespect each other, but in like a friendly way, and I
love it.
Yeah, it's also like a lots of like a answer and question type thing using music, and so I thought like that was quite the skill, and he kind of got into it when everybody's using like basic records. Now there's technology has gone a long way, so much that you've kind of taking all that foundation and kind of brought it into the modern era.
Absolutely. And I to say something to that, I consider myself lucky as well, as in I got into DJing at a time where it wasn't really popular for young kids, especially like in 1997, 98. To be a high school kid where I was, to have like no one was doing it, no one was trying to get turntables. Everything was, from what I remember, everything was, it was like you're doing sports, or you're a theater geek, or I was like, man, I don't fit into none of this shit. Like, I didn't fit into a lot of categories of social circles in high school. So
you skateboarded in high school. You did all the things that were kind of like, what was it?
Yeah. Well, skateboarding now is cool.
Yeah. So is DJing. Now everybody's trying to get into this.
Yeah. Skateboarding, DJing is all like, it's like totally cool now. But when I was trying to get into this stuff in the 90s, like it got me beat up or like picked on or made fun of, like, oh, stoner skater kids. And we were just like, what? And there was like 3 of us in the school at the time, So, and music was always my path. But I think what had happened was, once I had found that the time to basically put all of my energy into music, in a way that I had never really thought of. And back to what I was saying earlier, at the beginning of the show, lifestyle. I basically had to turn the DJing thing into a lifestyle. Like I have to be in the studio to work on projects ever so many hours during the day, just like you have to work on techniques and stuff like that, or practice stuff. I have to do the same thing. And I had that foundation coming from martial arts already, especially of learning how to go somewhere and train, and also do it with a group of people, and have to, and almost, and maybe become a leader. Almost even, I had Caillou leading me my whole life, man. It's still to this day he leads me. It's this guy calling me up like, "Hey, man, you need to get this free money, bro." And I'm like, "All right, you're right." He's like, "No, you need to do it now." So I appreciate that.
That's an interesting thing you say about if you want to make a change, you want to be successful with something, you got to make it your lifestyle. That's because a lot of people, they're always asking us like, how do I leave the job I hate that doesn't pay me enough and do something that I want to pursue? And sometimes they ask us how we got into martial arts. And I think that's a real good way to say it. Like, well, just make it your lifestyle, and then try really hard, work hard, and it'll happen,
Yeah.
The opportunity will arise.
Yeah, the opportunities will arise. You have to know when to take all the opportunities that open up, like realize what those windows look like from where they come from. A big part of where I'm at now is the networking thing. I think where for me, the battling, the internet has really helped as well. To be honest with you, I don't think I would be where I'm at in terms of, let's say, internationally known within my industry without the internet. Especially in the battling world.
Now he goes to Thailand and he gets gigs going to Thailand. They already know that he's there, and then he's working in the clubs over there, and they're full of people. And it's the magic of the internet. It's also the magic of your skill and the time that you put into the work that you want to do.
Yeah, man, and that was a beautiful trip, to be honest with you. And if I can say it now, like part of my trip, for people that don't know, I went to Thailand. We're Thai folks, so we have family there.
For those of you that don't know.
Those of you that know. On my father's side, especially, I have a family in Bangkok that are there. They're very much there, right? I'm the only one on that side who's in America. I went back and sorry, where was I? What were we just talking about?
You were talking about DJing in the club in Thailand and what an experience that was.
Yeah. So my main goal when I went to Thailand, to make a long story short, I had set up these things to happen. I had called the right people. I Instagram, the right people out there, and whether they knew me or not, which they did, luckily, it was one of those things where if you could just go through, say, my YouTube or my Instagram, it's like, oh wait, this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to battling. At the very least, that's the only thing I'll claim. I don't know how to do anything else in life good, except for DJ battle. They basically were stoked to have me. And when I got to, I did a workshop there, and I basically had, just people come all over to come do a workshop with. I remember realizing more than half of them did not know, one, who I was, which is fine, or they just picked up on who I was that week because people were like, "Hey, this guy's coming! Everybody, come on! We gotta come and do this." But they didn't know that I was Thai, so I thought it was very important for me to say, "Hey, you guys, if you see me at my level or whatever the hell you guys are looking at, I'm Thai and I'm first generation Thai American, and I'm doing this over here." Like, at the end of the day, I just wanted to show them that people of our from our background can do this and are doing stuff like this, because in reality, there's not a lot of us at the forefront right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just wanted to inspire them to say, man, whatever you guys are doing here, this community you guys have built, keep it going, keep doing what you're doing. Like, we one of you guys is going to be the biggest thing in Thailand. I promise you.
They're like 10 to 15 years behind on those trends, like even for grappling, jiu-jitsu, that type of thing.
Is
like,
it?
Yeah.
With grappling and stuff too?
It's really beginning to take hold. And so therefore, like us that have been born in the United States and go back, like we have a lot that we can, give back.
Sure.
Type of deal. So that's interesting. Now, so let's talk about real quick, like what's going on with the pandemic, and how's that affected you and your industry? Because it's definitely affected ours, and I'll get into that in a moment and tell you all the updates.
I mean, I don't want to, say too much, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's affected us. Like, I'm not out hustling the way I used to. That's for sure. On a typical weekend, I would be out hustling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whether I'm doing nightclubs, weddings, or both in between. Like, Friday night a club, Saturday night all day wedding, and then get ready to do the club again Sunday night, just for that cash grab, mad dash for cash grab every weekend, which is lovely. But yeah, all the every place is shut down now, so I don't have that type of work anymore. I'm fortunate that I'm able to teach still online through the school that I work for. However, I can't say that that's
paying all the bills.
Paying all the bills either.
Yep, and I want to say that too. Like, shout out to all our supporters and students who continue to support us through this time. Like, we really appreciate you. This wouldn't be possible if without the support of the community. And we're on the same boat. I think our industries are. I think your industry's even a little more affected in that. I believe in DC, none of these venues, these nightclubs, can open until stage 3. So we don't really know where that is right now. In DC, as far as I can tell, the mayor, and this is part of my update now. So the mayor has said that the earliest date will move into stage 2, which for us means that we would open the school finally. We are having outdoor classes. We've expanded our schedule, but we have not opened the school to classes. We're seeing right now the estimated date is June 19th at the earliest, but it could be pushed out just a little bit further. So, if you'd like to continue training, please sign up online and if you train outside. We got kids classes, adult classes now from like 9 to 7:30. Lou's been working very hard to get us going out there. And, yes, of course, it all depends on the weather. Yesterday we had to cancel one class due to rain, but call everybody and make sure that we keep staying in communication. So it is a difficult time. And I recently saw an article the other day that there are many venues that are kind of unionizing together, or at least coming together in a coalition, like 18th Street Lounge and Heist and a few others. I can't remember the name, but all the owners have kind of gotten together and they are looking to lobby to the mayor to look for some rent relief, because unfortunately they're forced to close just like we're forced to close. Yes. But at the same time, we're still obligated to pay our bills. One of them being rent, which is probably the biggest bill that we have. And so therefore they are asking for rent relief, some kind of government rent relief from DC. I don't know if they're capable of even doing that at this point, but with more federal bailouts occurring, we're hoping that DC, us being a district and not a state, can finally get our fair share of some of this relief money so that the businesses can be assisted during this time. We pay our taxes like everybody else. One of the biggest, I think, revenue centers for the district outside of our income taxes is probably a lot of this alcohol nightlife tax. So I think that from a collective power, collective bargaining standpoint, these venues have some power. And so that remains, they've now signed an open letter to the mayor and asking for assistance. We're going to be following that very closely because hopefully that can also affect us as well. But this is also the reason why we're putting together our own alliance of martial arts schools. Right now we've called the DMV Martial Arts Alliance, and trying to get as many school owners and martial artists, not just school owners, involved so that we can now have collective bargaining power on in our industry and in our sport, so that we can at least have a voice. And right now we're kind of at the mercy of some bureaucrats that don't really understand what we're doing at this time. So
yeah, what a crazy time, man. I meant very interesting to be living in this day and age. I think I'm happy that, I don't know.
I'm happy that you're healthy,
Yeah, I was just going to simply say, when people call me and I don't know what they're expecting to hear from me, and they reach out, I basically just give them a quick, like, hey, I'm alive. I have love around me and I have my music. So I think I'll be okay for now. I think mentally that's what helps. That's always, music has always tried to have kept me stable mentally when I feel like going off my rocker. But
three of us, many of us, and just the three of us present on this call, I think we've put all our eggs in one basket in the sense of what we want to do with our lives. And so therefore, like, this type of situation it greatly affects us in the sense that, we got to fight hard to continue doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
So, we just kind of have to see all the challenges that come and overcome them as they approach us. So as we wait to hear more news about what's happening, we will adapt. There's also this.
You're adapting.
We have to. There's also this issue.
We're here on Zoom right now for you lovely people on Facebook.
That's right.
This is what's happening.
Adapting.
But Lewis has a hypothesis. The atrocities that have happened in the United States recently, sparking this protest. There's a lot of people getting together, and their voices are being heard. I think that this is a start for our people, and I say our people being everybody is one. We're all one people, and these atrocities that happen, racism, abuse of power, like this, these are not acceptable, and people have to speak out for it. And I think that this is a good exercise for us. Be it if you're there, if you're being vocal about it, it's going to be important. I would also say now to put on my conspiracy hat, while we do think that looting is a terrible thing, we also have to understand that the upper echelon of people, the elite, have been looting the financial system for the last 50 years, and this is also a consequence of their actions, and that this has caused mass inequality and poverty among people. And so we really have to be paying attention to what's going on in our community and make sure we speak out about it. But going back to that, Lewis's hypothesis is that if we're all getting together and being close like this, as we should get all together and speak out, and there is no spike in the in the infection rate, then maybe we should.
Look. Here's the thing: we don't know.
Sure, though. I think the next few weeks, the next 3 to 4 weeks, the data is going to be very important for us to look at.
Yeah,
this is all.
We know people have gathered.
All our opinion. I'm just making sure that people understand this is our opinion.
Right.
But if there's not a spike, let's let the data speak for itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out, right? They say that 2 weeks, and they were even thinking about going to phase 2 on the 15th, but because of all the protests, they pushed it back another week. And I think I think that's why it's the 18th, is so that way they can see all this data, all the stuff coming out of these things. And I also want to say, if you're all mad about the looting, you might be a racist. just saying.
No.
Just saying.
I don't think
Out of all this,
You very well
might be a racist. If the only problem you have with all this stuff is the looting of Target, like, give me a break.
More if
your target, bro.
I don't, being even a small business, say that we get looted. If we get looted, like, is that acceptable? I don't think so. I don't think a pair of Nikes is going to make me feel better about what's going on in the world.
Right.
But, hey, that's just me, okay? But I would say this is that, you know, I think while the media is getting us to focus on these types of things, the looting, and I'm not saying racism it's not existing. I mean, I've been subjected to it myself. I'm saying that we are being focused on another area. Look at this hand while this hand does something else.
Right,
you know,
right.
Really, this has been the greatest wealth transfer that has ever happened in the history of our history.
Yeah,
money is being printed and given to the wealthy, and we're not even seeing that. And that's really a big cause of what's happening on this other side, and all this unemployment, all this mass unrest and civil unrest. I think this is great because when we can begin to see a lot of the crimes that are being committed, that we can all begin to speak out about it. And you know, every day,
white collar crimes especially too.
No one pays attention to that. You know, the Fed is printing money. They're basically buying junk stocks, bailing out these wealthy CEOs, bailing out these companies. You know, it's happening right now as we're speaking. Instead of helping the people, you know, they're not, and I'm saying giving money to the people is really the way what to do. Right. I'm just saying that these people over here are stealing it. You know, it's all our money. The more money you print, you're debasing the currency. You're taking away my savings. You're making my dollar worth less. And so therefore, like, because they have the power to do that and they're doing that, they are affecting us. And really, we have to realize that we're all one people, and we can come together, and then our voices look, if we all got together the next day and we said, we're not going to deal with, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to take this racism anymore. We're not going to take this abuse of power anymore. We're not going to take these people, these rich people sitting over there and making sure they enrich themselves and plunder the economy to get out. Then they're going to be scared. But really, they got to get us focused to fight ourselves. And I think that's a big problem. Is that we're fighting each other, you know? Again, I'm going to take off my conspiracy hat.
That was good.
Literally, he told you guys he was going to put it on. He got a little riled up and he took it off.
Good. Now I said what I got to say. So,
man, you can't be mad at somebody stealing some stuff from Target when they gave $50 million to the airline industry. And even Trump took a bailout. Remember that? Because these hotels and resorts and stuff, they got bailed out. And it's like, that's a little weird. But let's focus on this guy who has Nikes. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing?
I mean,
we're smart enough to focus on this other stuff. So, you know,
if they were, let me say this: if they were Nike Mag Airs from Back to the Future, then that would be a little bit more exciting. Right. You could actually sell those and put those for like 20 G's.
Oh shit!
I'm just saying.
Great Scott.
Yeah. Dude, I just saw that again. Watch it on Netflix. Great.
Yeah. Sorry, I always bring it back lightheartedly. So I like
that. Thank you.
That was one of our favorite movies growing up, though. Not to change the subject so fast.
It is absolutely a classic.
Loved it.
Watch it. We're running out of time, so maybe you can send us off with some stylings.
Oh, some stylings. Okay.
Should we say bye before he plays us out?
Oh yeah.
We gotta say bye to everybody.
We really appreciate everybody supporting the school, supporting the different shows, being part of the virtual memberships that we continue to have. Please remember that we do have training outside right now. You can sign up for it at the website. And we hope to continue to offer outdoor classes up until the next phase of opening, which we hope to be the 19th or sooner. But please make sure you're getting messages from us, getting emails from us. You can go on the website, go to the contact box and fill out your information there, and make sure you're getting our emails. Make sure you connect with us on social media, our YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook. And we want to really thank DJ Aswan for coming on board today and sharing his experiences with us. And we
Thanks
hope
for having me, guys.
When we reopen again and have some events, we hope to have DJ Aswan and his crew of people. Also, Bo, shout out to Bo. Thank you so much for all that you're doing too, to have everybody back in the school and training again.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, guys.
Send us off, my man.
Listen closely, so your attention's undivided. Listen closely. Listen listen closely, so your attention's undivided.
I wanna know one thing.
Yeah. What?
Do you know?
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 Yeah. What?
It'll be a cold day and holiday. I take it now. Make no mistake for real.